One of the most popular questions I get every year, will it be a snowy winter? Well, for that answer, we first need to talk about La Nina. Now, you've probably heard that term before. It's when the equatorial sea surface temperatures in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of South America are cooler than average. And this year looks like it's going to be a weak La Nina. And if that's the case, snow lovers like myself, we're going to be really disappointed. And here's why. The northern branch of the jet stream will take storms to our north and to our west. And when that happens, that draws up warm air from the south, and that makes it rain instead of snow. If we want snow, these storms have to track to our south and east. Not saying one couldn't. Remember, one big storm will bust the winter, but generally speaking, this type of pattern, those storms go to the north and to the west of us. Remember last year? It was mild. It was crazy mild. That's because we were in what's known as a neutral phase. We didn't have an El Nino or La Nina, although a weak La Nina was forecast. Snow lovers, I know, it was our worst year. It was the third least snowiest year on record at 0.6 inches. It couldn't even muster up an inch of snow. Only 2 winters had less snow. The winter of 1972-73 and 1997-1998, when we only had 1/10 of an inch of snow. All right, let's take a history. Look at just a quick history of La Nina winters in terms of snowfall. Then we're going to get to the averages and the predictions. All La Nina winters, this is at national, about 12 inches. Remember, national averages 17 to 18. Weak La Ninas this year, only 10 inches. Moderates, it does go up a little bit. In fact, that's kind of a hope if you're a snow lover, 24.9 inches. That's above average. And a strong La Nina back down low, only about 10 inches. And we think it's going to be a weak La Nina this year, so that's not a good thing, again, if you are a snow lover. Okay, now let's talk about the average snowfall, because we have a lot of microclimates here in the metro, which is why it's fun to forecast here. We'll start to the south. 5 to 10 inches for the entire winter for places like Patuxent River and St. Mary's County. 10 to 18 inches, including the district, down into Waldorf and La Plata and Bowie. North and west of town, 18 to 26. Again, this is average. West of I-81, a little better, 26 to 35. And then, yes, you go across the divide, boom, you have 35 to 100 inches of snow on average. Okay, what about this year? Here we go. Again, if you're south and east of town, you're not going to like this at all. So 2 to 4 inches for places like Waldorf and La Plata, and 2 to 10 inches essentially from I-95 east and south. That's it. 10 to 20 north and west. A little further north and west, you get a little closer to average, 20 to 30 inches. And then out toward Cumberland, you're back up to around 30 to 40. So that's a little closer because you're farther west, you have a little better chance of having some cold air in place. So our friends at Waldorf, we're forecasting 10. You guys average 16. DC, again, 9 inches. That's almost half of average. Bowie, same deal. Only about 10 inches. You average 15. Rockville, 15, way below average. Fairfax, 15, way below average. Dulles, about 5 inches below average, 18 instead of 23. All right, further west. Leesburg, you're pretty close to average. You're far enough west, I think you'll have more cold air. So we'll say 19 inches, you average 22. That's pretty much a wash. Winchester, about 20 inches, but you average 18 inches. And Hagerstown, 25. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get to your average of 33 inches this year. So it's going to be a little tough south and east of town, and average or maybe a little bit above as we go north and west of town. Okay, there's your snow. What about temperatures? Let's talk about average temperatures for a La Nina winter. All of them in the books, 38.9. For weak ones, 39.2. For moderate La Ninas, it's colder, about 38.1. And for strong La Ninas, 39.4. Our average temperature for those 3 months is 38.2. So we're splitting hairs here. We think this winter is going to play right into the hands of a weak La Nina. So we're forecasting temperatures above average across the board in town and north and west of town, December through February. But let's be clear, that does not mean we won't see some Arctic outbreaks. We will. It's winter. So you won't be able to book those tee times all winter. Now, Is there any hope for a snowy winter? Yes, that's the short answer. The winter of 95, 96 was a weak La Nina winter, like this one. We had 46 inches of snow downtown. Yep. So you're saying there's a chance? I'm saying there's a chance, but it is a slim one. I know that was a lot. So, to sum up, we're calling for less than average snow in the immediate metro area, a little closer to average the farther north and west you go, and above average temps across the board for the winter of 2020-2021. So, sum up some individual snowfall totals. At national, again, we're thinking 9 inches. That's well below average, but like 15 times what we had last year. We'll say 18 inches at Dulles, Waldorf, 10 inches, a little below average. And then Winchester, you folks are actually pretty close to average. We're going to predict 20 inches of snow for Winchester for the winter of 2021.